Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For all of my subscribers now, you need to listen very carefully about the things I'm about to share with you. I've titled this as the truth of Corona and also the Walking Dead. You know, and I know, that the world is running on the dominion of that which is factual and that which is fiction. That which is fictional has its own conduits, and that which is factual has its own conduits. You know that. I'm going to tell you what corona means. I'm going to tell you what the coroner's office means, and as well as the Crown Corporation. And it's all going to be factually backed up, like everything I say. First and above all things, the Crown Corporation, up to a few months ago, while you were birthing in the corona period, they controlled your crown. The crown, quite literally, is the life energy or glow that is around you. Okay? Full stop. You know that from my last transmissions for the last 3 years or 2.5 years. Here comes a shocking bit. The word corona is identical to the word crown. The English word is crown. And also the word coroner, as in the county coroner, is also identical. And they are also appointed, the coroner's office or the coroner's court is appointed by the crown itself. Okay? And the role that the coroner has as a county coroner, no other prefixes for the time being, like chief or anything like that. The county coroner, not the deputy coroner, the county coroner checks for signs of life. Full stop. What are these checks? These checks is to see you have signs of life. What are signs of life? One, that you have a corona, that you are showing and doing things that are of life. The liars, the cheaters, the people that pretend that they are somebody who they are not, the criminals, all those people that are malintent, people of the lie, as it were. These people are also tested. And because of what they do and who they are, they will be put into, by the coroner's department, into the realm of the walking dead. That's why you have so many zombie films and so on and so forth. So I want to make it very clear. For those people that have a live life claim, and I'll show you and I'll tell you more about this. And I'm very apologetic today on account of that. I'm not sure if I'm even getting my words right of the significance of what I am saying across well with the audience. Yeah, because I feel that I owe you guys so much. I mean, 76,000, I think it is, YouTube subscribers on the back of shadow banning and stuff like that, and you've still held on. You have not fallen for their tricks, and you're still here. So I feel that I need to get this message across. The role of the county coroner is to check to see that you have life and put you in the position of life, or put you in the position of being a crown subject because you have no life. The life that I'm talking about, you've met them. The liars, the cheaters, the people that will blindly follow, those people that partake, and I'm sorry to say, when they are trying to vaccinate themselves from their own corona, who believe that the corona, the glory of you, the life, the the bioessence that comes off you, that glows around you, which all animals can see and some people can see as well. And the equipment that you can get that allows that to see as well. And one of them is this here. Okay, you know that spectacles that you see in They Live, when they ask them to put the glasses on and they get to see the aliens, as it were, and the men and women different from the aliens. Yeah, how they are subliminally episoding and clipping you. That's what this is. Don't just go and buy it because I'm using it. Let me qualify it and verify it, okay? And then I'll tell you where to get it from, because there are lots of mimics around, fakes, as it were. All right, it's just cheap plastic, but it has a special chemical in it that blocks out some of the spectrum of the sunlight. I'll talk about it more on a next presentation, but I want you to know I'm experimenting with these things. So back onto the subject of Corona and your Live Life claim. You know, if you have a Live Life claim, it's a good idea now to make an authenticated copy of it and send it to your local county coroner's court by registered post. So the coroner can see that you have an autograph, a genuine thumbprint, a sample of your hair. Don't use blood through the postal system, because that's a specimen, or what they call a biohazard. Okay, and you know how to do all those sort of things. And the county coroner needs to know that, because you are now fully birthed, and that you are not born a stillborn. Unfortunately for the US, anybody that's got criminal records and etc., they are actually recorded in Washington, D.C. as a subject and as a slave. The slave imagery that you have in your mind as to, people in shackles and picking cotton and things is a lie. Slave is actually a word in law. It means quite literally a subject of the crown. You know, when the Queen used to call, or the crown, or the British crown used to call the Irish people subjects, and as they do in a passport, they call you subject. That means that you have no contract, you have no life, nothing to do, and you're under a master. That quite literally is what a subject means, and that's what a slave also means. They use multiple words, okay? Full stop. Now let me give you the evidence for these things. Give me a second, let me just think about, have I missed anything with you guys? Let me just recap. On paper, people are made to be dead on paper. But of course they're not, it's an oxymoron. But what I'm saying to you, in this corona period, in this period of your own crown, those people that lie, cheat, and that are malignant, those subspecies that we know of, the county court coroner's office know about them, because everything is monitored, your cell phone, your YouTube, what you say, what you do. And the more that you demonstrate lies and cheats and so on and so forth, the less active you are in the coroner's court as a living specimen. You understand what I'm saying? Most people that study common law and partake of it know that the highest court in the country, in any country, is the coroner's court, the so-called county court, where the sheriff also runs from. They need to see signs of life, but they will also have a record of you lying, cheating, and so on and so forth. So just because I'm releasing this information, those thieves and liars and narcissists and malignant people think that they can just simply walk themselves into the corona period. That is not the truth. They will not make this journey. Those people that are dull in their mind, will have a certain amount of protection through the vaccines, because the vaccines do more than, just vaccinate you. They also do your banking. They are hooked up to your banking. They're hooked up to your crypto even. You saw that and the announcements of it. in a movie called Time, a very beautiful movie. Okay, so I think I've made that very clear for all of you men and women that on paper you need to let the county coroner know who you are, and that's an authenticated live life claim. You don't send them the original, and I will talk you through these things as I go along. Okay. Now I need to show you the presentation, and I need to read this for you. You've got to understand the significance of these things. These things take me like sometimes years to put together. And when they are put together and delivered, they do a lot of benefit for you. For those people that lie and cheat, they will not make this journey, and that's the way it should be. I'm not talking about those people just pass away because it's their time, as it were, but I'm talking about the engineering, the bureaucratic engineering that goes into making sure that this world is safely birthed. That process has already taken place. So those narcissists and psychopaths, they won't make this journey. Yeah, the malignants, as it were, malignant people. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm going to read this for you, all right? And it is said that while I'm reading it, you shouldn't read it, or I should just leave you to read it. But we can't read it both together because you'll be conflicting with me and I'll be conflicting with you. So let me read it for you. Okay, be patient with me. Coroners are judicial office holders. Judicial essentially means the ability to make judgments. It's another word for a judge. They are completely independent and are appointed directly by the Crown. They are appointed directly by the Crown, as in the Crown Corporation. The Crown itself is held in trust, and that crown is symbolized in gold and on a figurehead like the Queen, etc. But that is only the symbolism. The actuality is that it's your crown. They are the trustees of the glow of light that comes off of you, the bioresonance or the biophysia. I've forgotten what the word is. I even have it written down somewhere, but it's the natural glow that all living creatures emit. All right. They have qualifications and substantial experience as a lawyer. As a lawyer. As a lawyer. Lawyer means the ability to make contract, because no law is a law unless you have two or more binding documents or parties, as it were. Okay, it's not exactly a medical position. They're establishing you whether you are honorable enough to make and honor your contracts, and that you haven't blasphemed and lied and showed the signs of what is known as cursive. Because when you show the signs of cursive, that's when you are put into paper as dead. All right, and yes, there's a lot of fraud taking place, such as life. Okay, but all that's reverted. A medical doctor, or sometimes both. So they be a lawyer and a medical doctor, or in case of Ireland, I think he only has a position as a solicitor. Solicitor means prostitute. Okay. So if you haven't understood what I have said, let me paraphrase it. The Crown, the body of which you don't know what it is, it's actually the legislative body, it's actually the judicial body, it is actually the Crown, it is actually the state, and all the trustees coming together to establish whether you have signs of life or not on paper. Because these people are not going to give you life on paper if you are a liar, a cheater, and so on and so forth. Yeah. The word quite literally is liar, because that is the key to it. All right. So if you haven't understood it, let me help you again. And I'm not like the other speakers insofar as that I come up with clever adjectives and stuff like that. I just give you what I know and for you to do what you need to do. The county coroner, who checks for signs of life, is appointed by the Crown itself, and they have experience in law or as medical or both. Okay? That means it's a bureaucratic process on paper as well as a medical process. Are you competent enough to be able to make contract? Do you know what your word is your bond means? That's what they're looking for. That is that. Now, we have to now come on to this word. What actually constitutes and what keeps people in servitude and in slavery as subjects, as it were, politely put as subjects, but the word means exactly the same. You see, when you go to work, you're given wages. Well, what's that about? Why aren't you getting a salary? Wages is essentially means to bet your life. And what fool would bet his life? Or wit his life, or sell his time for minute amounts of money? Well, the fool, of course, would be people like me that have done it past, who didn't know any better because I was deliberately kept ignorant until I became more knowledgeable. Okay? So words like wages are used to show that your ability to actually make money is still within the realm of the uh, uh, the county coroner, what they call mort, okay, a mortuary. Let's go on to another word, and these words are great significance. Sometimes they tell you that you earn money. Well, an urn is what you put dead ashes in. So most of you that work and are happy to accept wages, perhaps not you guys in YouTube, but for those people that are misfortunate enough not to understand these things, they're thought of as being earning. Earn is when you burn something, like a man or a woman that's passed away, and you put them in an urn, in a container. And they're using the self same word to explain to you that you're actually digging your own grave. All right, that's what it means, grave. All right, but it's more like a grave in a chamber as opposed to a burial. Okay. You also have, there are myriads of this, thousands, millions of examples that verbally and in written form show that you're actually in cursive, that you are actually on paper dead. Quite often, a judge will say, go and do this undertaking. They will openly tell you that, an undertaking. And I've given it to you here, how they say these things. See, an undertaking is what dead people are put under. The funeral director that wears the black robe puts you in a position where they are undertaking you. And they call these things undertaking in law as well, telling you there is no law. It's the business of dead people doing dead things. That's why solicitors, judges never see anything in your favor. So, look, you've got know your legal rights. No law. You got to read this, and I'll read it for you. Don't read it. I'll read it for you. Your legal rights and responsibility. The good funeral. The good funeral. Listen. Did you know that no law requires you to use an undertaker? That means solicitor. Quite literally, an undertaker or even a solicitor. An undertaker is your agent. An undertaker is your agent, called the power of agency. And when you instruct the solicitors and whatever, if you don't instruct them, then they can't be your agents and they become officers of the court, and you become ward of the court. Your deputy, your colleague, You are the funeral director. Do you understand what they are saying to you? If you ever need to conduct any affairs with agents and stuff, dealing with dead entities, you are the director. You are the funeral director. Yeah, but they always reverse the roles, so you become powerless. When you take out a mortgage, that's also an instrument in law telling the county coroner that you have a mortgage, and therefore you are dead. Because what does mort mean? It means dead. Yeah, it's French, dead. Engage means a pledge. So you have a death pledge, a pledge that sees you in death. It's not a pledge to death, it's a pledge in death. Yeah, it's what dead people do, as it were, on paper. Their behavior towards what they do and other people is so toxic that people have become so used to using these languages and buying up and selling instruments of mort, of death pledges. Which one of you, what would you do, ladies and gentlemen, what would you do if you caught your children, like your son or daughter, like 5 or 6, 10 years old, selling death pledges to people in the playground? What would you do? You'd be horrified. Would I be correct? You'd be horrified. But that is what is happening in your world. You are doing it at the horror of your own babies. It's just that you've got so used to it, you believe it's perfectly fine. The county coroner, how do you get these things to the county coroner? In this country, which is called England, United Kingdom, or Great Britain, which are 3 jurisdictions, on land, in this country, in my area, it's the Walthamstow County Coroner's Court. Okay, and it's always county that check for signs of life. They already have my oath of office, oath of a judge and so on and so forth. But I'm letting you know, don't be confused with the chief county court coroner in this country, because they have no power. All right, it's the county court coroner's office. You can send it to them by name. Here's the chief medical officer. That's one thing in New York. In New York, in the United States, they call it vital statistics. Vital statistics. If you was to punch in, the Office of Vital Statistics, it will come up as births, deaths, and marriages. Okay, because they are checking whether it is dead people on paper, what they call the walking dead, that are actually doing marriage, or is it living men and women? Because living men and women do not surrender their marriage to a county recorder. Yeah, some people do it through their church, and the church now puts it into the county recorder's jurisdiction, taking you out of the church's jurisdiction. Some people have their own faith leader do it for them, and he does it on paper. You require no government's permission, because governments are your servants. So if you ever wondered how the government got everyday human beings to believe that they are subject to the government, you know how it's happening. It's happening through this kind of necromancy words. You must be absurd. Clearly, in logic and rationality, you must be absurd to believe that you are a servant of the government. You must be absurd to believe that your butler is your master and you're the servant of the butler or the maid. You must be absurd. Of course you are absurd. What other explanation is there? Because they're doing it to you. You get it? What can be done with a pen can be undone with another pen. The pen is mightier than a sword. So coroners have a deputy to make reports to a person. This is where it's going to get interesting. A person is an actor. It's a dead entity. It's a creature that runs on script. For people that follow Holy Scriptures, they're saying that you are running on a Shakespearean, Hollywood, Bollywood script. You have yet to script your own way in life. You have yet to script your own manifesto, which means those things that you're going to do, that you are going to manifest in your life. That's where the word comes from. What do I want to manifest? I want to be able to manifest to get rid of people's mortgages. I want to manifest as much knowledge as I can and the wisdom, as it were, to be able to govern the power that I acquire through responsibility. Because nobody is given power without taking up responsibility. The more responsibility you have, the more power you get. Okay, organizations, local authority, or government departments or agencies. A deputy only deals with dead instruments. Those are things that are written in your all capitals name that you never took possession of as part of your legal instruments. Okay, that's what that means. So if you if you need further explanation, there's a thesaurus here, and it'll give you a variety of what these things mean. Corona means coroner, coroner means crown, and crown means corona. They all mean one and the same thing. As long as it's split in three jurisdictions, what they call Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they're basically saying that you are unable to administer your own affairs as your own legal executive, as well as the executive, and as well as being able to make judgments called a judicial. Hence, the Tricks and Trap students are now powerful enough because of the responsibility and the knowledge that they have gained to become legislators, to become executive and judicials in their own lives, as well as create scripts for politicians to follow, because that's what they do. That's why you never hate Biden or think anything less or more of him, because that's what he is, an actor. Like Boris Johnson, he's an actor. He's just acting. But if he was to speak to the man that has all those qualifications, and he is very well qualified in many different things, you'll quickly come to realize that he's a very intelligent man. I've never had a one-to-one conversation with him, but his qualifications are online. You understand what I'm saying? So don't go hating these people. You don't know who they are. Now, to start the process of landlogging and claiming your own land and etc., we have our own website where you can actually log your own lands as well as your live life claims and your houses and stuff like that, to take it out, eventually take it out of the county registers department, which only deals with dead instruments. Their purpose there is to protect your house and not give it up to legal instruments that have no say in real property, because banks and these corporations have no ability, unless you give it to them, to be able to claim your property. Yeah, so what they do is they make you a fellow legal corporate instrument. That's why all your names are written exactly how corporate instruments are, as to opposed to the man and woman that's on their live life claim. Okay, that's up and running. That's up and running now. Okay, and there's lots of people, and it's global. All right, this will take off. We will be able to list millions of people, homes, and so on and so forth. Now, I'll come on to this later, but let's have a look. Some of the questions is like, where do I get a live life claim? Well, first of all, you can get it from my website. Yes, you do need to pay for it, but what it will do is give you a detailed instructions as the power of the live life claim. That's what it does. Okay, and it will give you documents to support it that they say don't historically exist, but I have it on my website. Okay, that means that there is so much proof of the power of a live life claim, or a live birth certificate, or a certificate of live birth, that you would have to be deaf, dumb, and blind, as it were, not to see what it means. Okay? Look, there are people out there that pretend that they know what they're doing and sell David Wayne Miller's book without his permission. We have no idea who these people are, but they pop up here and there trying to make a buck or two on trying to sell David Wayne Miller's book. I want to make this very clear. You don't need David Wayne Miller's book to study the language technology. You don't need it. And since I have lost contact with his estate, that doesn't mean that people need to go to these fraudsters to buy books that don't belong to them. You see, these people are recorded by the county coroner's office as being fraudulent, lying, cheating, malignant people. Okay? You know that your IP address is traced by virtually every government in the world because it's one government called the federal government. Your cell phone is monitored all the time. You have a certain amount of privacy, but not the privacy to lie, cheat, and steal. Nobody has that. Of course they don't. So one of our students traced it, and this is a private-public partnership as well as being a public-private partnership. This is where this person is, okay? So if you have bought any books from this fraudster, it's of no value to you, okay? Get your money back. Get your money back. This is where that guy is. And I'll post this on my website, or if you want, you can email me for it and I can send it to you. All right? These people, and it's always been written about, it's just the books have always been retitled in different ways. In my days, in my younger days, as it were, it was known as the people of the lie. The people of the lie. And that's what they are. People of the lie cannot make this corona period. They simply will not be able to survive it. Okay? So let me give you some more examples of the toxicity of the language. To see, the toxicity of language is quite important to these people because the more foul-mouthed you are, the more that you swear, lie, cheat, and so on and so forth, all shows proof of verbal contract that you are bureaucratically dead. You understand what I'm saying to you? So only you are given mortgages, not ownership. You're given title under the coloring of the law, but never title to anything. All right? And I released the information about BlackRock and what their intention is, and so on and so forth. So all they will do is just come after you as a fellow corporate instrument because your names, and you accepted the names on birth certificates and all manner of documents as being dead and not taking responsibility for it. Not of your own fault because it was hidden from you. So when you say things like good morning, in all innocence, the word morning, quite literally, is not what you think it is. It's not like a praise of something. It actually means the dead. It means the death of the day. In their quasi-wazzy world of a noun, they get you to believe it's a period in time between midnight and noon. Yeah, so it's morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 a.m., right up to 11:45, as it were, in the morning. Okay, but it means the death of the day. That's what it means in your recitement of it, in your verbalizing that contract, like celebrating the Halloween day, yeah, the witching hour, which all renews the contract again and again that you are walking and talking in blasphemic language. Okay, blasphemic, as in Baptist. When you blaspheme, it's one and the same thing. But I'll do that presentation another time because some students asked me to put that together, and I thought I would do that, but I can't present it now. I'll do it later on. Okay. So, we innocently think, well, we mourn the dead. But morning and morning, spelt the way that it is here, is one and the same way verbally, phonetically, and in the volition of the thinking to the subconscious mind. The conscious mind believes it's good morning, something to be, praiseworthy, and that's good, but that's on the surface material. But to the higher functions parts of your brain, the higher functioning parts of your brain, it means totally different. It means the death of the day. Okay. Now, this is the Speaker of the British Parliament. You may not be able to see it because he's got a black suit on, but the cloak that he's wearing, that's called the mourning robe. That means he's mourning the death of. He's crying for the death of. You understand the significance of what I'm saying. The, the, the death of the people that are lost and dead at sea. And these are the babbling trustees for it, and the lords, spiritual, govern the crown, as it were. Okay? You really didn't think that the lords actually had any sweat equity or commercial energy. They're purely parasitical. Okay? And that crown, that glory has returned back to you since the corona period. You just need to let the county coroner know that you're a live life claimant. And I'll go over that because you've got to understand nobody except you and your closest of people that you trust can witness your live life claim, because it's a witness, and you cannot be a witness to, say, a car accident that never took place. That's called a false witness. And there are many false witnesses around. Yeah, and I'll speak about it. Once again, he's wearing the black robe. You see, the black robe. That's significant. He is showing respect to the dead, and everybody in there is babbling. All right, just in case you don't know, since most of my students in the USA, not US, USA, United States of America, this is the Prime Minister pretending to be an idiot. What I call a babbling buffoon. Babbling buffoon, I think it was, I used to call him. But that's what he is doing, and very good at it. But he doesn't have stage power presence, so he becomes a politician. That's all that is, ladies and gentlemen. He's just following the script of his controllers. Now, more concerning, of course, this is Joe Biden's inauguration. Sworn is a cursive word. You see that, sworn? Watch Joe Biden get sworn in. If I was to swear at your wife, you would slap me round the head, wouldn't you? Or punch me in the nose. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you punch me in the nose for swearing at your wife or your children or even you? Why would you do that? Why would you get so upset with me and not be upset with the president at swearing at the Constitution, which you thought was so very holy? And he's also swearing on top of a common law book as well as a Bible. So there is so much evidence all around you that these people are dealing with the dead. This is one of the Supreme Court members, and he's wearing dead. He's wearing the death robe. Yeah, he's honoring the dead. That's on that platform, and the innocent people, the innocent parties that are there, not knowing what is happening. These are all 100% evidence that human beings are ignorant of the law. They are ignorant of symbolism. They are ignorant of language. They are ignorant of judicial processes. And they are ignorant. Okay? It's all very well for you subscribers listening to this. And you watchers, you've educated yourself. But that 98% that is almost certainly out there actually believe that this is real. And that's how they get to sell mortgages to you. And that's why it's our calling to remove mortgages. Because in the corona period, how can I allow you as a plenipotentiary judge, as a chief federal postal court judge, how can I allow you to participate in necromancy and in cursive by having a death pledge? How can I have my fellow people walk around with death pledges, trading death pledges? Just think about it, yeah? Look, we have this particular guy called Russell J. Good, who is a 100% parasite. He is a total parasite. He parasited on David Wayne Miller, thwarted his work, turned up at his deathbed asking for $3,000, otherwise he's not going to come for the next meeting, got himself kicked out of hospitals and so on and so forth for acting like the buffoon that he is. These are incredibly vile people. Their job is to do certain things. One of them is to convolute you people into believing that he has some sort of a power. Here, they're witnessing what looks like some sort of, I actually do not know what that is. But if it was a live life claim in any document, that document would be an invalid document. And the reason why that is because on the back of Alex's research, this is not a Title IV flag. It's not a David Wayne Miller's flag. It's only a resemblance of it. It's only acting as a quantum document. You see that blue field? That blue field is a square. Miller's is not a square. Okay? I've got the measurements right here of what that is. As Alex typed it out, I can send that to you if you want. I can send that to you, but you have to ask me for it. Please do not ask me for it in a million words. Just be concise, okay? Because we can't spend like so much time reading, if you know what I mean, of emails. You can see quite literally, on the back of Miller's book, that the blue area here is an entirely different dimension to the dimension that you are looking at here. Here it's square, you see that? And he knows that people are not paying attention to these things because they are just like me, trusting. That just makes sense, but they are misusers of trust. What they're doing is they're setting you up so you will never proceed in Miller's technology by thwarting, and thwarting. You can see that is not a square. That is not a square. And that's a front cover of Miller's book, okay? When I got it off of him at 2012, which, we autographed or, whatever it is. But that's what we're talking about. Look, let me see if I can find you more things that I wanted to speak to you about. If you're worried about getting a live life claim, just go to my website and it will tell you how to do it, what to do, everything that you need to know, okay, etc. I'm looking for, as I speak, some tabs that I had open for you that, yeah, so look, this is one of my web pages. And I've got to speak about this to you. This web page, what it does, it lists people and corporations that do character assassination about me, trying to speak foul of me. And once in a while, I do a search on my name, as it were, and see what comes up. And as it comes up, I list it, okay, on this particular page called Hazardous People and Corporation. Just like this particular website that I showed you, or where is it, this particular website? Yeah, just like this particular website. Gosh, I better not mix these tabs up anymore because there are so many of them. Just like that particular guy in the US, this particular guy goes to ask for Miller's help while he's getting help from me, as it were, and then finds it necessary to start stealing his book when David Wayne Miller is getting ready to pass away. Yeah. This is how incredibly toxic these people are. And you have a definition in law. That definition is monster. You see, when I knew this guy, when I helped him out, I thought he was just an idiot, really. What damage can an idiot do? Until I read the book, The World of Stupidity. They are the most dangerous. They are the most toxic people. And if they're narcissistic and psychopaths as well, you've got a whole heap of trouble with you. So what they do is they take their toxicity to other people. Just because, you know, he knows me, they would take these things to your wife and your children on the back of just knowing you and get one big bloody surprise. Yeah. These are incredibly toxic people. And I've listed them on my website um, as, as people send them to me. So you guys are aware. This is that Gould again. While David Wayne Miller's like a week away from passing away, he pretends to court-martial him as if David Wayne Miller is in the military, or if this buffoon is a military officer, and they got some sort of a pea shooter at the back. I don't know who this is, but he seems to have a bigger pot belly than I do. Can't be of any significance, but he's got a little pea shooter there, pretending that they've got some power. I mean, these are the level of toxicity and stupidity people demonstrate. Okay, this particular one, this is a very good study on psychopathy and why the live life claims and all these things don't work. Is because a monster can never inherit anything, not their children, not their blood, not their DNA, not anything, not their bank accounts, nothing, because the county coroner, through monitoring, keep all these things a record of. But people don't believe it. People don't believe that these conversations are recorded. People don't believe that keywords are logged in your name, but they are, and they've always had the technology on paper once. Now it's digital. This is a very interesting one. It's once again, come to me for some help. As soon as you help him, before you know it, he's the leader of the pack. Leader of what pack? You know, he has what they call echoism. That means he will ape the words of a narcissist as echo itself done. It's a fascinating study if you're into it. This is what they call a covert narcissist. If you ever meet these people, if you're ever in any doubt as to who people are, give them a test on psychopathy and narcissism. But the test, there has to be more than 50 questions or so. They will quickly reveal themselves to what they are. This particular one is a malignant narcissist. Malignant means it tries to hook on to you, and it'll attack and attack and attack until it just simply dies away in its own misery. What they do is like me, me talking to you like this. They believe that they've got now attention, and they get hyper-inflated. They feel that they've become powered, that somebody thinks enough of them to actually show their pictures online. This is how screwed up their world are. Let me make it very clear. These types of things, whatever they are, can never enter the corona period. They are doomed to failure. And just in case, if you think I've gone off subject, listen to it before I bring this to an end. Coroners are judicial office holders. They are completely independent. They are completely independent and are appointed by the Crown. In other words, they are appointed by the Crown to become independent of the Crown. They have qualifications and substantial experience as lawyer, checking your ability to make contract, because contract is a covenant. It's like a covenant between you and the Creator. Okay? And medical training as well. Sometimes both. What does that mean? Sometimes both. It means a lawyer can become a coroner and have no knowledge of medical practices. You understand? Of course you do. So today I'm using my normal screen camera because I didn't have time to set everything up. I wanted you folks so desperately, and you can see my desperation. I really want you to understand that on paper you are dead, but psychologically you 75,000 subscribers or so to this channel are not dead. You're only dead on paper. That you are men and women, not humans. Human is a totally different psychological condition, subject to what is known as the coloring of the law. All you require at this stage, even to be able to enter, our system of logging your properties, your monies, sorry, not your money, your properties, your live life claim, your houses, into our logging system, is that having a live life claim greatly helps. And if you have a live life claim recorded at the house that you actually own or live in, as the owner, as it were, and not a renter, you're just in that much more position, a better position. Okay. So the live life claim is one of the most powerful documents. The tricks and traps puts you in a position where you are able to dictate to your own government, and they'll follow the script. And in the next coming year or so, or under a year, I'll be teaching how to set up cooperatives in line with the Shanghai Cooperative, as well as Bitcoin and so on and so forth, because a cooperative, by its very nature, is non-centralized. Governments can never tell a cooperation what to do, but they can tell a cooperative like a corporation what to do, but not a cooperative, not a cooperative. I've got to be able to feel at ease pronouncing that word since it's going to be taking over our world like Bitcoin. It's like not being able to pronounce Bitcoin or coming out with Bitcoin or Bitcoin or Bincoin or something. So it's in line with cooperative. And Alex has put together or putting together the components of being able to find out what a narcissist, narc is, or a psychopath, to be able to identify them, to be able to deal with them, and unlike anything that I've ever encountered, to be able to put them to a stop so they can never proceed any further, screwing up, destroying other people's lives. The ones that I have mentioned, they're individuals, but there are also corporations in there, like the BBC. Like the BBC, that is so desperate because we disqualified their charter, is trying to say, let's link the BBC license to the council tax as a fellow corporate instrument. The British public will hang this man, and just think about it. They'll pass sentence on him. These are highly toxic individuals, and these are highly toxic organizations. Their sole purpose to exist is to be able to put you and keep you in the world of the ignorant and in the world of the cursive through their soap operas and in their world of being in a survival mode as opposed to thriving. Even Charles, sorry, you can't actually see it, I beg your pardon. Yeah, so now you can see it, do apologize. So it's like the BBC, the BBC is now thinking about putting their TV license hooked up to the council tax. But the British public will go berserk. They'll pass sentence on this man and the BBC. They've already figured out the mass media, the newspapers that have lied to you constantly, that have lost so much reputation that their subscription bases, their license bases are all just completely being shattered to pieces, because that which is a lie ends up being a lie. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm in a fantastic position. What an amazing position, I find myself in. Let me just get that presentation up. What an amazing position I'm in. What amazing position all the other judges and staff and the people that we deal with are in a position. They've understood, they've understood that they are not corporate instruments and they are not in cursive and they will not have death pledges in their life. Yeah, it's, you know, it's like that saying in Moby Dick, I would rather be kicked by Ahab rather than kissed or be blessed by God. That's how much power and that's how much we think of Ahab, our captain in Moby Dick, than we do of God, as it were. It's a fantastic poetic phrase, but one that seals, the sailor's fate, as it were, into Captain Ahab, because he always sees them right until his own madness kicks in. But that's a different story. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is that you guys are not dead on paper, and all that needs to happen is that you go to my website, do what you need to do, and speak to the county coroner by doing an authenticated copy, and all that information will be given to you. But you never send the original, because that's yours. That's self-recorded. Yeah, that's what that's about. Look, folks, if you need that description or analysis of Alex, which takes like an hour of a man's life to be able to show you that there actually are people on this planet that concertedly make the effort to lie to you and steal from you for the purposes of thwarting your full birthing into the corona period. Okay? That's one heck of a thing when you're up against the banks, the medias, the individuals, the corporations that all want to keep you on paper dead so you don't ever autograph or write your way to freedom, as it were. That which can be done, that which was done by a pen can be undone by a pen. Remember that. Okay. I do show this pen just to let you know, because that's the pen the presidents use. It's in black and it does make significance, but it's in gold. All right, so that essentially means that you have private claims, which is a very powerful word. Look, I think I've explained myself, and please share this video and tell them where to get that information, that where it says that the coroner himself or herself is appointed by the Crown itself to check for signs of life, whether to put you and keep you as a dead instrument, or to say that you're alive, and that you have the ability to make contract and interact with the entire world without being a hazardous thing, without being cursive. All these other people, these people like this Gould and people like them, and the misfortunate people that fall for his kind of nonsense, as it were, they are, they'll get themselves educated, but they need to know that there are people that will constantly try to thwart you. So for those, once again, I'm talking as if you guys are watching this thing here. Let me see if I can pull it up again. So what I'm saying to you, these individuals, they're waking up because they'll check the dimensions themselves. And if you want to correct it, you can just go to my website and you can download the dimensions, the correct dimensions, the correct field. You see, that's a boat flag. See, that's a square flag. And he knows, this parasite knows that people are not paying attention because they are trusting. Who wouldn't be trusting? I'm trusting. Yeah. So this is the field at Square. Yeah. That took Alex probably an hour or more, or even more than that, to be able to bring these things together. But you guys need to protect yourself from now on. I won't be doing these type of exposés anymore. So you visit my websites and stuff, and you know, you got to be able to see who these people are. Okay, he's openly telling you who he is and what he is by purposely contaminating the title 4 flag. That's a square field. Miller's flag is not square field, the blue zone there. That's a boat flag. Okay? So, thank you very much for listening to me, ladies and gentlemen. On paper is all that you need to do. That's the power of paper, that's the power of pen. I've explained myself as best as I can. Share this video because I've checked it. I've checked the information I'm giving you. It's nowhere online. I've checked with the US, I've checked with Australia, and I've checked in Europe, and I've checked here, which is in England. Nobody's talking about these things. Nobody's revealing this type of information. So share it. I'm sure the county coroner will pick that up, that you are sharing good information. Okay, that you are sharing those things which are given to me to share with you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, folks.